Hey everyone, Chris here. Before we get started, I just want to warn everyone this episode does contain very sensitive topics about things that are possibly traumatic for people that could be very difficult to talk about and could be triggering for some. Viewer discretion is advised. And if this is not your type of episode, totally understand. You could skip it. You could also go back and check out other videos in our catalog, but you have been warned. Now, here's this week's episode of Pucked Up. Has gambling in sports gone too far? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Pucked Up Podcast. I am Chris, and as always, I'm joined with a full squad today. Woo. Maul, D, and the return of Danger, who is feeling better and looking way better.
I'm alive.
Girl.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Back from the literal almost dead.
Yeah, for real. We have quite the show for you today. It's going to be a little heavy, but, you know, hey, sometimes it has to be that way. But we will start off because I am hosting this week, so I'm not going to forget. D.
Which means he will forget, let's be honest.
Well, no. So D always forgets to start the episode when she hosts with the trivia question. So we're going to start with the trivia question, and then as always at the end, you guys can give me your answers. But in 2008... Chris Chelios won the Stanley Cup, his third with the Detroit Red Wings, making him the oldest player in the history of the NHL to win the Stanley Cup. How old was he?
In 2008?
2008. Chris Chelios played for literally forever.
I was a little bit busy that year with a newborn.
Well, yeah,
I remember how old he was.
He did play for fucking ever. So... can't wait to hear what you guys think at the end of the episode, but why don't we
interject and just share my favorite Halloween decoration that I saw a picture of?
Yeah.
It was somebody's yard. They had two skeletons sitting in chairs with a sign that said, waiting for Jaromir Jagr to retire.
That is incredible.
That is a great decoration.
I was like, nicely done, folks. Nicely done.
We love that. We love that. I guess we'll kick it off with D. We have some PWHL news.
We do. We have one bit of PWHL news, and
nice
that is that the Minnesota Frost.
Sheet, by the way.
Huh?
Nice typo in the show sheet.
You know what? I just love the Minnesota Wild.
Wrong Minnesota hockey team.
I know. I got all excited for a second. I mean, they did bring back the old school jerseys for our 25th year this year, but
you know what? There is no proof that it says Minnesota Wild. I don't know what you're talking about, Chris. It says Minnesota Frost. It has always said that.
Yeah.
There's a thing on the bottom that
I copied and pasted it into sticky note. You were saying that to me for a second. I was like, you know what?
No.
I'm taking that bestie video back. Taking the quick back.
Anyway, as I was saying, and like I have always said, the Minnesota Frost have announced their first ever commemorative jersey to honor the fact that they have won back-to-back championships in their first two seasons in the PWHL. The jerseys will feature the Walter Cup patch, which includes 2 stars commemorating the team's back-to-back wins during the inaugural 2024 season, followed by the 2024-2025 campaign. They are drawing inspiration from the Walter Cup itself, because the lettering incorporates a silver stitched down detail, and the numbers will also be outlined in silver as well, a nod to the trophy's distinctive shine. The jerseys, which will be worn in January, will be complemented by an updated uniform look featuring purple helmets, gloves, and pants to be worn at home and on the road during the upcoming season. So very cool. Can't wait to see that. I do not believe it is available for purchase. I do not believe it will be made available for purchase, but if you're mad about that, y'all can email Bauer, who makes the jerseys, and say, hey, yo, bitch, give me that. And then they'll do it.
I want that.
You know who you can't email for this? Is gbets $gmail.com. I don't know if you know this.
I think it was at NHL.com.
You could email it.
To be fair. You could. Let me know if that works for you.
Yeah, and he'll probably be like, dude, I don't got shit to do with that league.
You know what? But he'd probably appreciate being yelled at for something that he could actually be like, "Hey,
This
y'all
is
should
not
really do
my
this.
problem."
You should get on this."
Yeah.
You know? Anyway, that is actually the only update we really have coming out of the PWHL right now. Again, we are getting ready to start our season soon, so we will have more for you shortly, just not today.
Do we think Minnesota's able to go back to back again this year because of
Back to Thrip.
the two new teams and the players that they lost? Do you think that that'll affect them going into the season?
Anything's possible at this point, man.
It wouldn't be shocking. I'm gonna be honest. That team's
I'ma
still pretty
say-
loaded.
I'm going to say triple down, triple crown.
Oh,
Triple
Okay.
crown.
okay.
Also, Minnesota Frost, if you want to borrow that, you can. You just have to bring me to a game, please. Thank you.
at
Thank you
least
so
one
much.
game. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just
all she's
one.
asking.
I'm
Just
from
one.
there. Look
Yeah.
at.
It's a
See?
cow.
Proof. I'm from Minnesota.
True, only
It's
Minnesotans
Babe
have
the
that shirt.
big blue ox
Yeah.
holding a plaid state of Minnesota.
Is the
It's
flag
not a
plaid?
cow. Babe is so much more than cow. He's not a cow. He's a bull
Well, danger.
or an ox. Yeah.
Would you like to tell us the news about your favorite
I do.
team getting a
so-
cool thing happening?
Yeah. Very cruel prank to pull on me, D.
Sorry. I just
Giving
thought it
me
was funny.
this. All right, buckle up, puckheads. But there is some massive news involving the Lone Star State. And it is official that everything is bigger in Texas, including the sheer spectacle that is the NHL trying to prove they can survive in heat. The Dallas Stars are getting their second outdoor game and will be hosting the 2027 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series on February 20th, 2027. They aren't messing around this time. Instead of the quaint, historic Cotton Bowl, they are heading to the crown jewel of Texas, XS AT&T Stadium, aka Jerry World, which is the colossal home of the Dallas Cowboys. We're not going to talk about them. This event is less of a hockey game and more of an official endorsement from the Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, who this article practically admits had been hounding Gary Bettman since the stadium was built in 2009. The commissioner seemingly absolutely beside himself with excitement, saying that when people see the rink, they'll think, this is where we should play hockey all the time. We assume this was because he was looking directly at the Jumbotron when he said it. Because let's be real, that scoreboard is big enough to be its own independent NHL franchise.
I mean,
The Stars drew...
yeah.
The Stars drew 85,000 people to their last outdoor game, and Bettman is betting, see what I did there, they'll blow past that number at Jerry World, where the Cowboys regularly pull at least 93,000 fans who come just to watch them lose. They haven't named an opponent yet, but honestly, it doesn't matter. The real story here is the sheer audacity of putting a sheet of frozen water inside a building designed to house a small city. In short, the Dallas Stars are trading a classic football stadium for a corporate Death Star. Bettman and Jerry Jones are thrilled, getting ready for the largest crowd in hockey history to struggle to see the players while simultaneously getting perfect 4K view of one single Gatorade bottle on the bench via the gargantuan screen above them.
Girl, you almost made me choke on my food and shit. Also, here's the real question.
I'm a little bit proud of that one, guys.
Now that Jerry Jones is endorsing the Dallas Stars, does that mean they're also never going to win a playoff game again?
I fucking hope so. I mean, I didn't say that.
To be fair, though,
Don't
I
think so.
think that people go to Cowboy games to not only watch them lose, but because of their cheerleaders.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
They're
God,
shit.
yeah.
I'm not going to go
I
pay
even
that
wanted
money
to
to
they
be
are
a
not.
literally-
Cowboys
Yeah.
cheerleader.
Right, they are
Like,
literally the most
when I was
popular
little.
cheerleaders in the world.
Oh, well,
When they got
I
rid
don't
of
know about
hockey
the world.
cheerleaders, I was like, okay, I guess I'll go cheer for football.
Okay,
Doesn't
Like
Vegas
what, like-
still have hockey cheerleaders? I
think
thought
they
Vegas
might.
still has them.
Some
I
do.
think they're the only team that still has them.
Some still have rink girls. We have rink girls that like scrape the ice and stuff.
Yeah, we
Well,
have
yeah,
those.
that's not hockey. I'm talking about like when I was
Cheerleaders.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, the North Stars had cheerleaders. They would come
Oh.
up on the stands, they'd dance on the stairs. I'd dance with them. It was great.
I think Vegas still has them.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Vegas
I'll get
would,
back to you
'cause
on
it's
that.
I
Vegas.
would be, because Vegas became a team after the NHL like got rid of them.
Yeah,
So
but
they may
their
have
party
them for
environment.
special events,
It is
Maybe.
Vegas.
but
Yeah.
So, how big of a deal?
They have a dance team called the Vegas Vivas, which are the team's cheerleaders.
I guess
Yeah.
I've never seen them. But I've never been to a home game of Vegas.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Do we think
I
that
learned something new.
do we think that this is a bigger deal for the state of Texas as a whole for hockey? Because they're having it in arguably the most important stadium in the entire state of Texas. Like, this is a big deal. This is Cowboy Stadium. This
It
is
is a big deal. It is a big deal. I hope they book it right. And I don't know what the right pick is yet, but they're never going to sell it out if they don't have the right opponent.
It's got to be a
gotta be a team
rivalry.
that
It's got to
Texas-
be a rivalry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Minnesota's not the right rivalry because Texas doesn't care about the Minnesota rivalry.
Well, Colorado,
Because they don't understand. Maybe
Colorado, Nashville. Well, Nashville. It has to be a good
Vegas,
team
maybe.
because they're good.
Vegas could be a good pick.
I feel like
Um,
interdivisional rivalry has to be here. I would say
Yeah,
Colorado,
that's fair.
Winnipeg,
I forget that they're not
Detroit.
in the same division.
Oh, Detroit's. I guess
Oh,
no,
no.
you can't even do Detroit because they're not a Western Conference team anymore.
No.
Nashville. Got to be a team someone gives a shit about.
Nashville's
You know, at least in
Yeah.
that if you're
Right.
a Stars fan,
Yeah,
Right, like, we
I don't
can't
know. I don't
do-
know what that right pick is.
you can't pick like the
but
Canadians.
it's got to be a
Right.
No,
it can't be
heck no.
like the Sharks versus the Mammoth. Nobody gives a shit.
right.
I don't know. It's an interesting thought, but I think this is actually pretty
So it'll
badass.
be
that-
interesting.
Yeah. Thank you for
in
that.
theory.
Thank you for making me almost die on you know, recording.
You're welcome. I mean, there's people in your house that know how to give the Heimlich maneuver. I know
Oh, yeah.
you're safe.
I'll just run out to my
That's true.
sister. You all right? No.
Yeah.
Oh, well, from fun moments to something that's very much so not fun and kind of fitting a theme over the past few weeks of things we've discussed. D, do you want to be the downer today?
Yeah. As always, I'm here to take it down a notch. All right. So, as Chris mentioned, there's been a lot of this kind of news coming out lately, but it has been announced through a appeal, actually, that 6 players from the under 14 AA hockey team in Stony Creek, Ontario, have been placed on probation for 2 years and warned that any further happenings will lead to permanent bans. This investigation was spawned from repeated bullying and sexual misconduct allegations during the 2023-2024 season. So basically what happened was this U14, so again, under 14-year-old, boys team had a complaint filed because there were, this report was like 18 pages, y'all. Like, it's a lot. And also, like, trigger warning if you don't want to hear some of the details, we are going to talk about that. They were found to have had, like, everywhere I've seen describes it, including the files, described their Snapchat as a cesspool, where they frequently joked about rape, sent sexualized video, degrading memes. They also made comments calling other players homophobic and racist slurs, including the N-word. And it was their own teammates that they were calling this. It wasn't people, well, I mean, it was also people outside of it, but it was targeted to their own teammates. They also had a video of a boy pinning a teammate to the floor and pretending to hump him while another voice commented about sodomizing the player. And also there were at least 20 additional instances where they had photo and video evidence of players being held down while teammates forcibly removed their clothes. While all this was happening, some teammates would try to leave during these assaults, and they would be barred from doing so by the other players who stood as guards in front of the locker room door to make sure that no coaches entered and that no children left. It was reportedly an organized attack, like all of them were. And so it was reported to Hockey Canada's independent third party, the ITP, as it'll be henceforth called. The ITP investigated it, and they were concerned because they found out that parents and players were coordinating their responses, that they were identical or substantially similar to a point where it became unbelievable. After that, the adjudication decided that they were going to suspend 6 of those players between 1 to 7 games. The head coach, last name is Mercanti, he was assessed a 5-game suspension, and assistant coaches Greg Williams and Bill Whalen were given written reprimands. So this was the initial ruling. Parents were pissed because 7 fucking games, 1 to 7 games for all of that is insane. So it went for an appeal to the Sport Dispute Resolution Center of Canada, the SDRCC, where after another review, it was decided that they would be given 2 years probation, which, again, taking a break from the story to give my personal thoughts here, that's still fucking bullshit. Holding another player down while you forcibly remove his clothes and prevent anybody from leaving because they are uncomfortable, as they fucking should be, should result in a full removal, period.
And
no other outcome is acceptable.
Here's the point that I want to make on the severity of this. U14 hockey is for 13 and 14-year-olds.
It's sickening.
This isn't 17, 18-year-olds. That doesn't make it better. This isn't adults.
Right.
This is 13 and 14-year-old children.
Yep.
Acting this way and thinking that it's okay.
What's worse to me is that the coach, when confronted about this, displayed visible contempt for the process and thought that he did nothing wrong, even though the tribunal, whatever you want to call it, found that he could have done more to prevent this behavior from happening. And he thought, this is kids doing kids shit. That's even worse.
As a parent, I feel the parents of the kids should also be held responsible.
Correct. Because they're the ones, again, to the reporting, they were coordinating responses on their and their children's behalf. So clearly they were involved.
So they're covering up. They're encouraging the behavior.
How do you even learn that behavior anyway as a child?
Exactly.
As a child, how are you learning that?
Now, public schools are a weird place, right? And I'm not going to say
all schools are a weird place. As having been to private school,
right? As a father who has kids that are going through private school or public school, there's things that they come home and say, but it's your job as a parent. When you catch wind of that, you immediately shut that shit down. Period.
I will
Period.
tell you right now, my son would not only be grounded, he'd be off the hockey team before this ever got, even whether or not he was involved in it.
Yeah.
Right.
He'd be off of that team. And if he was involved in it, I probably shouldn't say out loud what would probably happen.
With the parents' coordinated response on this, though, it shows me that there's no remorse with the parents. They don't think that it's bad, right?
Well, yeah.
And they don't see a problem with it, and that is the problem, because they're not going to hold these children accountable, and then these children grow up, get into the NHL, and then become the problem children that we currently already have in the NHL.
Right.
Well, and that's made very clear, Mal, by the fact that I'm not even done with the story because it doesn't stop here, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So after the initial sanctions were released, that 1 to 7 game suspension on November 1st of 2024, the complainant, the complainant was violently assaulted by one of his teammates at a local rink. It was recorded all on the rink's CCTV, which then made a separate complaint to the ITP. That assailant was suspended by Hockey Canada for a year. Again, Hockey Canada, you are fucking failing these kids here. This is someone who is a part of the original crew that was suspended, who then assaulted this player because they're the ones who ratted him out. He then violently assaulted him again in a public space. So clearly he has no fucking chill. And his parents didn't do anything to step up and make him learn a goddamn lesson from when this shit was initially issued. And now you just said 1 year suspension, but you can come back, buddy, because you might be needed on our U18 team in the future. So we don't want to kick you out too long. That's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
From the article. I haven't read the article. Have the police been involved?
I have not seen anything about that, but that might just
I
not be
can't
put
see how
out
they wouldn't
currently
be.
because it might be an ongoing investigation, and so they're not
Yeah.
going to discuss
And
it.
the fact that they're all minors, that could
because they're
also.
minors. Yeah, okay. I was
Yeah.
just thinking that
Yeah.
too.
Here's-
Because I know for a fact, as a Canadian, the RCMP, you don't fuck with them when it comes to stuff like this.
Yeah.
They are like, again, I've lived in the United States my whole life. The RCMP terrify me
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, they're
in a good way.
They don't play
Because
games.
you don't
Right.
want to mess up with them. There's no games. There's no bullshit.
Yeah.
They need to be
Yeah.
involved. If they're not,
So
because that will
So-
scare the kids straight.
I'm
Hopefully,
hopefully,
Yeah, we'll see.
and these kids need to be like put into therapy. like
at least
yesterday.
therapy.
Yes. Right.
At the very
Well, right,
least.
but like, I mean, because obviously there's something psychologically wrong to make
Yeah.
them think that any of this is okay. I mean,
right?
I have
guess
more smoke. Oh, sorry. Go for it, Chris.
I'll just say, is there more to the article?
There's more to the article.
Okay.
Yeah, I have even more.
I'll wait till the end, then I'll ask my question.
All right. I have additional smoke for the organization that they were playing in. That is Stony Creek Minor Hockey. They released a statement. Their president, who I will name, Steve Johnson, wrote in an email saying that the individuals involved in the case are no longer players, coaches, or volunteers. Great. But let's get into what he actually said. It says the association has not been provided any details of this case since its onset due to confidentiality invoked at the ITP level, and any information that has been received has been secondhand. Stony Creek Minor Hockey, during the evaluation period in the spring, made a decision not to move forward with a team in this age category. We felt this was the best interest of the program moving forward. So you mean to tell me that you got rid of an entire age group because these fuckers decided to sexually assault their teammates rather than deal with those kids? Because it says nothing about any of those players being barred from future ability to participate. And it also means that the victims in this case, the kids who were who forcibly had their clothes removed, now also cannot play for your organization and have to turn elsewhere, meaning further amounts of travel for them to play for a different team, which could potentially bar them from the sport because their parents can't afford to do that. Now, hockey is really big in Canada. And so most parents are able to sort of give stuff up to give their kids the hockey dream that they want, right?
right.
But we don't know that that will happen. So I have major fucking beef with Stony Creek as well, because that was a cowardly move to just decide, well, we just won't do it at U14. No, the reality here is that you had a fucking problem in your organization. These kids didn't turn 13 and 14 and suddenly decide to start sexually assaulting other teammates. Something happened somewhere along the way that made them think that this was okay. And your coaches took zero responsibility for it and allowed it to continue after they reasonably heard about it happening in the first place. And you did nothing to bar them either. That statement does not say that any of those three coaches are permanently barred as being a coach. It says that they are not currently with the organization, which is a fucking loophole.
Yeah.
To say
they're
that you can
covering their
welcome
own
them back
ass,
at
is
any
what they're
time
trying to
as
do.
soon as it dies down.
They're trying to cover their own ass. They're trying
Yeah.
to they're trying to save face in a way. Now
I have some more facts and figures if we want to get into that really
oh
quick.
boy. More?
So, more. So, when this was all found out, right, ITP did their initial investigation in 2024, issued those suspensions, whatever. Those results were not made public at the time because it's the ITP stance that they don't disclose any of that kind of information. However, they did have to release in 2024 that Hockey Canada's independent third-party review team received 2,073 complaints during its second full year of operation, including 780 complaints that alleged bullying and harassment, 529 complaints involving allegations of verbal discrimination that contravened Hockey Canada's Rule 11.4, 189 complaints regarding alleged sexual misconduct, and 164 cases alleging physical abuse. And they have not released any of the findings of those cases. If those findings are anything like the initial finding in this case, which was appealed, and the added, decision was just a fucking probation period of 2 years, you have a systemic problem that, you have to do more to eradicate that. To have 190 cases of sexual misconduct in a children's group is fucking insane. That is fucking insane. And every parent in Hockey Canada, who has a child enrolled in hockey that aligns with Hockey Canada should be complaining to make sure that these results of these investigations are made public.
Yeah.
The only way we get to reversing any of this bullshit is through transparency. And the fact that we lack it here, and it has taken so long for these victims to get any sense of justice, which, by the way, they fucking didn't because their team got fucking canceled, is bullshit. And that is on Hockey Canada for continuing a problem that has been talked about for ages. The trial of those fucking idiots on the U18 team or whatever it was, where Carter Hart is now
the junior world championship team.
Yeah, that you guys have known about problems like that and about guys doing shit like that since 2018, and I guarantee you further. But because of the 2018 bullshit, you started 2 years ago your ITP crew, and have gotten in your second full year over 2,000 complaints, almost 2,100 complaints. You have a fucking problem. Stop hiding your head in the goddamn sand. I beg of you. You are hurting kids, and you are making the sport a culture with which no one wants to engage. No one in their right fucking mind is going to start sending their kids somewhere to be assaulted, either physically, verbally, sexually, any of it. Fix your goddamn shit.
Yeah.
All right, now questions.
Well, you just answered my question for me. I was going to say, because of obviously the stuff we've dealt with the World Juniors recently, a couple other players over the past 10 years from Canada that have had situations like this, I was going to say, do we think that there's a deeper problem in Canada with hockey? But you answered that question for me. So, you know what? Saves me time to ask the question, but I guess we can open the floor up to everybody else, too. I know this is danger, Maul. You both are parents, so this hits home for you in a lot of other ways,
It just, to me, like I said my piece earlier, I blame the parents because hate and this behavior is not something that's hereditary. It's not something that's genetic. It's not something that you are born with. It is something that is taught. It is the culture the child grows up in, and it is the content of the media that they surround themselves in. My kids are not angels, okay, by any means. But they know that there's a time and a place for certain things, right? That's the reality of it. A lot of people will tell you that my kids are good kids. And I do think my kids are good kids, but I know who their father is, so I'm not giving them that much credit. But my kids at 6 and 8 years old can play rated R video games and not go out and make jokes about guns and that reenact any of the behavior. Why? Because I taught them responsibility and that the separation, 6 degrees of separation with stuff like that, right? I hate to say it, but with social media, so much of our culture is sexualized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With video games, I'm going to call out a few. Roblox.
Yeah,
Roblox
they need to get
is a
their shit together.
huge
too.
one.
Fuck.
Yeah.
For the sexualization of children and inappropriate content. I'm a gamer. My kids will never touch fucking Roblox. I don't care what you say about it.
Yeah.
Right? I'd rather my kids play Grand Theft Auto than friggin' Roblox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and Matt and I used to play Roblox together. Before, we didn't play in a lot of public open leagues or not leagues, but servers.
Worlds and servers and stuff, yeah.
But we were always together. We play the hide and seek or Pokemon or whatever. So I was there, obviously, with him. But
yeah, you have parents that are not teaching their kids and they're absent in their children's lives. They're not
That
understanding
is
the
the bigger
content that they're
issue, in my
consuming,
opinion.
right?
That is
Yeah.
the bigger issue, in my opinion. You know, kids
This
are
is
getting
borderline
phones
child.
at-
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's borderline child neglect.
yeah, but it'll never get called out as that because, you know, too many parents right now are relying on technology to raise their children for them without policing what their children are consuming. Therefore, we end up with children who think that things like this are okay or normal or whatever.
Yeah.
Or we end up with children who don't think about, you know, the long-term effects of even bullying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I get you. I
It's-
mean,
yeah,
and our parents.
It's hard. It's hard because
It's
sorry,
really
Chris.
hard.
Yeah, it's
But-
very hard. It's a hard topic to talk about. It's even harder this time around because it's children. It makes
Yeah,
it and
Literal
like
13 and 14-year-olds.
yeah, these are children.
And
Yeah.
and hockey is so expensive that these
Mhm.
families, and I know because I have a lot of family in Canada, hockey is so much more expensive there because of the exchange rate and taxes and crap
Yeah.
like that, right? A good hockey stick up there is like $500. Gloves, $250. These families are literally taking out second mortgages and loans and giving up so much to put their kids into hockey because of how impactful it is to the culture of Canada
Mm-hmm.
and the hopes that their kids will make it big, right? And have a successful future. To have that ripped away because of stupidity and no supervision and just outright negligence. it's
Well, and I'm
disgusting.
so I'm someone who I see both sides of the youth sports arena because I'm a coach.
Mhm.
So I
Right.
have very
Right.
close interactions with the players and with the parents, right? I see the players. Now I coach lacrosse, so we don't ever have a locker room situation, right? I still as a coach have to get trained on abuse stuff every year to identify whether I think a kid is being abused by their parents in any form or fashion or another staff member. So I have to go through this every year. It's mandatory I take a training. So I see what it's like for the kids. I can tell you right now that I guarantee that some of this behavior from these children is because of the parents. The number of parents I
yeah.
hear say things like, you got to do whatever it takes to win. If your teammate is going to play like shit, you remind him what a piece of shit he is. And
Yeah.
that's a quote. So and 100% as a coach, it's my responsibility to see anytime I see any kind of bullying or anything to shut that shit down. And you know what I have
Yeah.
done? Exactly that. I have had instances where there is not to this degree at all, but to agree of
Right.
someone saying like, oh, so-and-so is such a terrible player. I don't know why she plays. She should just quit. She can't catch. She can't throw. Why is she even here?
Right.
That was a series of very serious conversations, and there were consequences to those players who said those things because they needed to know that, like, I can't control what you do out in the world, but I can control what you do here on
Yeah.
my field for 90 minutes every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Well, and you said the
those
most
90 minutes are
important thing.
mine.
You're,
The most important
Yeah.
thing. You showed them consequences. You taught them that
Yeah.
actions have consequences. And I know between the four of us, all of our parents taught us that exact same rule, which is we apply that whether it's, you know, in our own lives, in the lives of, you know, for Maul and Danger as a parent. Like
But
that's
Chris,
a
even for
valuable
you,
lesson.
your
niece.
Actions have consequences. And there is no so far there are no consequences to this heinous action. I
Yeah.
can tell you as someone who played sports at this age, I'm thankful I never had to deal with anything this severe. Obviously, bullying was this and that. It was never to like this big of a degree or anything like super major. But it was I was thankful I always had good coaches that were good mentors that explained a lot of the same situations and things that I'm mentioning, and we've all figured out a lot of the same things you do as a coach, D. But it's, dude, there is a very, very, very clear problem. Very clear problem. And Dee said it perfectly. Wake the fuck up, because you can't keep pretending this shit isn't going on.
I also don't want people to be able to be like, oh, well, boys will be boys, and that's just locker room talk and shit like that.
Fucking bullshit.
That's not acceptable.
No.
And I want to point out that, like, when I was in high school, I was in a co-ed, I'll call it a sport, where our locker room was the bus. When we got to our event, we hung our body bags, which is where we kept our uniforms and stuff, in the windows to act as shades, and boys and girls, 8th grade to seniors, changed in the same space.
Yeah.
And there was never anything inappropriate that happened. The parents knew about it. They had no problems with it. Nothing. You know why? Because we knew what was right and what was wrong. And we knew that there were consequences if anyone stepped outside of that. And we watched out for each other.
Yeah.
To protect each other. Because at the end of the day, we were teammates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not boys will be boys, because I've changed on a bus with females.
Yeah.
When I was in 7th grade and they were seniors.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And there was no problem.
I can tell you,
And that happens today.
If this
Why?
ever happened when I was playing on a sport, the rest of the team would single-handedly probably beat the ever-loving shit out of the person doing this sort of thing. Because you protect your own, you protect each other. And these poor kids now have to go through their very formative and important years, which teaches them how to healthily deal with a lot of these things, and they're going to grow up with this trauma that probably is going to fuck them up for most of their lives. Oh, but it's, boys will be boys. Fuck that. The most toxic, disgusting fucking phrase is boys will be boys, because it literally just doesn't give anybody any sort of like fucking responsibility in this. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
So we need to be fucking better, because I love this sport as much as you guys love this. And D, we in the lacrosse community are not privy to that being perfect either. Let's not forget the Duke lacrosse scandal that to this day, 20 years later, is still a hot topic in the sport that hurt the sport more than anything.
Oh, 100%.
So,
yeah. No sport is a stranger to it. I will say on that note, though, Chris, you did bring up a good point. Hockey Canada, nor any of the provincial and territorial hockey federations in Canada have public sanctions registries.
Yeah.
However, Swim Canada, Skate Canada all maintain public registries. Athletics Canada has a published discipline decision in addition to a registry. Basketball Canada and Canada Soccer have said they're in the process of setting up said registries. The Ontario Volleyball Association, Athletics Ontario, Gymnastics Ontario, Field Hockey Ontario, and Swim Ontario are provincial associations that maintain a public sanctions list as well. That is 10 other teams, 10 other sports that have decided that it's important to publicly post information about players, coaches, teams that have violated ethics rules. Hockey is behind. Hockey is so far behind and needs to catch up.
Yeah. No,
We told you guys this was going to be a really hard episode.
Yeah. This is a tough topic, but I've always felt that we have a responsibility with this podcast to, discuss the hard topics sometimes. Obviously, our next topic isn't exactly it's a little easier, but it's just as fucking crazy. That NHL star Arthur Kaliev has been accused of scamming his girlfriend. She has come out and she's accusing her boyfriend of scamming her out of tens of thousands of dollars to fund what she claims was a rampant gambling addiction. And that also severely impacted his teammates. It was reportedly started in 2023, where Kaliev told his girlfriend that he had received a check from his family to reimburse her for accidentally using her PayPal account to pay workers at his family shipping company. She had agreed previously at his suggestion to link his card to her PayPal account and transfer money through it after he claimed that his personal account was experiencing issues, according to her post on social media. The $400 check was reportedly mobile deposited, but Kaliev soon told Mochin that his personal bank account had been frozen due to his family's financial dealings, that he had needed to return the money. It sounds like it is looking for money over $7,500, if not more at this point. This is insane. This is crazy. And this ties really well into the offside opinions, but I guess this is not the first time that we've heard of athletes with gambling addictions. There is a lot of speculations of players like Michael Jordan, who none of this is confirmed. There's a lot of speculation that maybe that's why he retired from the NBA the first time. Pete Rose famously banned for life from baseball because he was betting on baseball games. Obviously, more recently with people like Chauncey Billups and other players in the NBA being linked to possible mafia ties with sports betting and gambling. Like, if you're scamming your girlfriend out of money and it's affecting not only yourself but possibly your teammates, I don't have words. I am very, very rarely speechless, but what the fuck?
Yeah, no, I saw this news article hit today. It wasn't even, I only saw it reported in a couple of places. So at first I was like, is this even real? But it got confirmed by a major news source. And I was like, okay, I guess this is fucking real. Holy shit. And for this to come out like, a week, 2 weeks after the NBA scandal, where not only were they betting, but they were also rigging games. I have to wonder, it hasn't been discussed yet, but is Arthur involved in something like that? Because it is such a slippery slope. And when you owe that kind of money, I mean, he scammed his girlfriend out of $50,000.
Yeah.
That is no small amount of money.
No.
So when you owe money like that to people, you do get pretty desperate pretty fucking quick. So I have so many questions about how this got started, about how widespread it is, about who else knows. Obviously, the girlfriend knew because she, at a certain point, was like, hold on, now my bank is telling me I've cashed 3 fraudulent checks and I'm at potential danger of being like arrested for check fraud. And that's a major crime that I'm not going down for because I just thought like I was hoping to help me out, you know?
Here's
Who else knows?
I want to point something out about that, right?
Yeah, you have some insider intel into that kind of process.
Checks, if she was called by her institution and they threatened to press legal actions and with the law, those weren't small checks. Those are massive fraudulent checks.
Yeah.
They don't do that for a couple $100 or a couple $1,000.
Yeah. No, and I mean, it also goes on, Mochin also goes on to talk about in her post that she heard Kaliev allegedly owes several LA Kings players approximately $50,000 for a collection of fines, fees, group bets, and betting pools, citing a text message involving current SKA St. Petersburg winger Igor Loryanov and longtime Kings defenseman Drew Doughty. Drew Doughty has also confirmed that to Mochin over Snapchat that Kaliev still owes money to players on the team. Mm-hmm. So, in this also includes money to trainers, and his trade was delayed, or any of that would be delayed due to unsettled debts. Like,
yep.
He's even been barred from practices over unpaid debts.
See, that's the part that has me going like, somebody else on the team knows some shit. And rather than getting this man some fucking gambling help, like we have the NHLPA Players Assistance Fund for a fucking reason. Sounds like this guy should have been in it a while ago. If they've had to bar him from practices because he wasn't making good on debts to teammates and to trainers, like, bro, how long were you going to let that slide? How long were you going to say like, somebody owes you $20, no big deal. Somebody owes you $50K, big fucking deal, my guy.
Yeah, like I'm less bothered about $20, but I'm entirely more bothered by a lot of other things. And I mean, Kaliev's not even playing the NHL right now. He's playing the AHL,
Yeah.
which isn't helping his case any at all.
No.
I guess this is a good segue into offside opinions, Maul, if you want to.
Yeah, this is a perfect handoff. So, with the recent scandals and now multiple sports surrounding players betting on and rigging games, should the NHL think about restricting advertising space for gambling sites? I know ESPN Bet is a huge one that kind of came out of nowhere. Not calling them out specifically, but, you know, if the shoe fits.
Lucky.
Or what regulations should they have to restrict players like Arthur, who potentially was using his girlfriend's identity to do scams?
It's essentially what it felt like. He was essentially, you know, like, I just say, does anyone want to go first on that? Because I know we all feel some sort of way about sports betting.
Yep, we sure do. I'll go first. I think 100% that all sports that have laned into prop betting and things like that should do away with that immediately. While I understand that it can be a source of revenue, and I'm sure that those betting sites are given a healthy kickback to the NHL and to these teams in particular, I am going to call it the Washington Capitals. I cannot go on Monumental Sports Network and watch a game without every, no fucking joke, a minute and 15 seconds, there being a new BetMGM ad that pops up in the corner about, what do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah.
It's either a historical question of like, do you know this trivia? Or it's a, what do you think the chances are that we score in the last 3 minutes of the game? And those are all designed as cute little fun answers. And it says, oh, you're with, 70% of the audience. You should probably make a bet about that so that, you can make some winnings off of being so goddamn smart. And that's how it drags you in. And that is a fucking problem. It's a problem for your fans, and it's clearly a problem for your players. The NHL is depending on how you look at it, an underpaid association in terms of, if you look at what an NBA player rakes in for what is way less wear and tear on the body than the NHL, there is a disparity there. Yeah. So they're going to have to make additional money elsewhere. Yep. Unfortunately, it's still not popular enough for them to be the face of Kellogg's, or for them to be the face of, with the exception of Ovi, fucking Wheaties. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are far fewer NHL players that are going to get those national level sponsorships for shoe lines and things like that. So where else do you think they're getting their fucking money? Betting. Mm-hmm. Sports betting. The number of NHL players that have active gambling addiction is not small, and it is underreported because they don't want to have to report it, because then they'd have to do an investigation, much like the NBA is currently having to do right now. It is in everybody's best bet to take space away from gambling sites, ads, promotions, all of it.
Yeah.
You're begging for fucking trouble for your people who you are already putting in trouble enough, because this is a very tough sport where injuries are very prominent, as Danger will tell us in a few fucking segments. Like, you're begging for fucking trouble. Mm-hmm. Stop it.
Right. It's, all I'm saying is, if they keep going, I'm excited to see the Longest Yard movie redone for basketball and NHL. It'll be cool.
Yeah. It'll be a true story.
You think Adam Sandler will come back and reprise his role of Paul Crewe?
This time in a Bruins jersey.
Yeah, right. Oh, hey, you know what? He would love every minute of that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, he's a New Hampshire boy. He would do some bee shit.
Yep.
Danger, what are your thoughts on this?
I hope the whole thing with Arthur is just a one-off, and that if he did do this, and I'm saying if because as far as I know thus far, it's not confirmed. I might be wrong on that.
It is alleged at this point, yes.
Yeah. So I want to be clear that it is allegedly. Hopefully that's a one-off thing with one person who made mistakes and won't become a bigger issue across the league. As far as I knew as far as players betting, I thought the NHL still had the rule that players and coaches, or even anybody that works within the NHL, can't bet at all.
As far as I'm aware, they do still have that rule. As far as I'm
But
aware.
it's clearly
There's-
not
so-
being
there's-
enforced.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
There's so many ways to loop around that, though.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a
But-
systemic problem that goes in every industry.
It's
They want to lose their money fucking gambling and then potentially lose their position within their leagues
yeah. No, that's
for breaking that rule, then that's their own fucking...
oh no,
Sounds
absolutely.
Sounds like an opinion to me.
And that's the
That's
reality
a
of it.
totally valid opinion.
And
Yeah.
like Dee said, here's the biggest problem. There's a lot of this involved in those sponsorships. There is a lot of this money being thrown around to these leagues, to these teams.
Yep.
And here's an even farther back thought. Think about how much the NFL has changed in the last 15 years once fantasy sports started popping up. Look at rule changes, look at stats that happen to be called a little differently. Look at fantasy sports in other sports now. It's a lot deeper than I think
Right.
we realize. And again, I'm someone who enjoys fantasy sports. We obviously, this year it didn't happen, but last year we had the league and it was fun. But for us, it was a free league that we just played for shits and giggles for bragging rights with our friends and our viewers. Like,
Yeah, because that was awesome.
it's the reason I will never do paid fantasy sports, because that is gambling. I am 32 years old and I have gambled once in my entire life. I lost $20 and I said, this is fucking stupid. Why am I doing this? I mean, I guess I've done a little bit of sports betting here and there. Like maybe like 4 or 5 times I've bet like $20 on a NASCAR race or whatever, but it's never like a massive thing. And for me, I'm just like, whatever. It's like $10, $20. If I have it, sure. If I win, cool. If I don't, but it's become such a barren, like such a blatant problem now. Like when you're arresting players from in the NHL, players and coaches stuff, and again, someone of the name like Chauncey fucking Billups, who has had his own pretty notable career in the NBA, to have some sort of tie to the fucking mafia.
And here's the thing, though.
What are we
The
doing?
FBI showed up and knocked on that man's door.
Yeah.
Dude, I shit my pants. That's the moment you shit your pants. That's the reality of it. You're like,
I
you
don't
know
think
what?
you did.
I thought I got away with it. Okay, I'm screwed.
Yeah,
I
No,
mean, that's it. It's done.
that's a
Um,
fuck up and a half. I'm like, I don't.
and it's hard because like I, as someone who doesn't drink, compare the obsession and the destruction of gambling to alcohol. To me, they're similar, right?
It becomes an addiction.
This
It
yeah,
can
and-
absolutely
and-
be as destructive.
Yeah.
And the amount of money that I see, I'm not going to disclose what I do for work, but the amount of money that I see people lose every day because of gambling is disgusting. There are people who will eat ramen noodles and dollar menus because they're going to hit it big on the next pick six. I see people who
Yep.
don't even pay attention at work because all they're doing is pay attention to sports. That's their life.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if done correctly, it could be a fun thing, you know. As someone who likes fantasy sports, to me, I think they make the game interesting because now I'm watching teams that I didn't normally care about because now I have a player that's on that team,
Right.
you know? It's kind of like I like when you play squares at the Super Bowl. Like at that point, it's like to me, it's like even if my team doesn't get in, I don't care. I'm just excited because oh no, you're so close to getting the point. Like there can be fun and excitement that comes from gambling if done appropriately. But I think with it being consistently shoved down our throats, that's not the correct way to do it.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I definitely want to hear from you guys in the comments. Let us know your thoughts on this because this is it's a big hot topic, especially now, and especially with obviously the allegations against Artur Kaliev. It's very clear that the NHL isn't exactly exempt from these sort of issues. Well, I would say that's a good transition for Danger to return to your glorious segment. Tell us about our naughty
My
boys and our hurt
favorite
boys.
segment of mispronouncing hockey players' names.
Welcome everyone. Welcome back to Danger Does Names.
Although I'm trying to learn, you guys. The NHL has been putting out the shorts with the players actually saying how to pronounce their names. I've watched almost all of them. Don't think it's going to make a difference, but I am trying. It's also funnier to just not. And sometimes I just get tongue-tied. And, if you don't like it, I don't know.
Deal.
Fuck you. Whatever. For our bad boys, really, just one. And one I kind of don't like seeing on this list because it's a player kind of touch. Probably fun to watch because he gets in trouble a lot. But on November 1st, Yevgeny Malkin from the Pittsburgh Penguins got fined the maximum of $5,000 for slashing Logan Stanley.
It was pretty brutal. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it was a pretty blatant slash.
I didn't see it, so I don't know if Stanley deserved it.
He must have said something to Gino because holy fuck, his Russian came out real fast.
Yeah. Deserved or not, you kind of can't do
Russians.
it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do it.
But that's really the only bad boy we've had, surprisingly enough. As for injuries, as always, starting with Anaheim, we have Ryan Strome, who is out with a upper body injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 9th. For Boston, we have Elias Lindholm, lower body injury, expected to be out until at least November 17th. For Buffalo, we have Zach Benson out with a lower body injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 8th. Jason Zucker with an illness on IR, expected to be out until at least November 12th. And Yuri Kulik with an ear injury, expected to be out until at least November 8th.
He took a puck off the ear.
Usually. Did he?
Yeah,
Did
he's okay, but it was a pretty hard shot. He blocked the shot.
I heard, and I couldn't remember, I missed so many episodes that I couldn't remember where, but I saw pictures of somebody with stitches because they got clipped like right.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't understand. They have ear protectors and helmets. I don't know why the fuck you're not wearing them. But it's there. I don't know what you're doing.
It was hard enough to get players to wear helmets back in the day. So, and wasn't it Oshie who was talking about why he created his cut-proof stuff to be so lightweight was because everything they put on, adds weight to them, and that makes it that much harder to skate. So I can understand why they don't wear them. Doesn't mean it's a smart decision.
Remind me later. I have a fun fact about gear.
Ooh,
a fun statistic.
Ooh.
Okay.
I eagerly await.
I'll make Chris proud.
I thought you were gonna say I'll make Chris Pratt, and I was like, okay.
Star-Lord.
I didn't know you could make that at home.
I didn't realize we can make Chris Pratt, but I guess why not?
Yo, Chris Pratt, hang out with us. Hit us up.
Please.
I don't know if you're a hockey fan, but we're down.
For Calgary with Martin Pospisil.
Yeah.
You're close.
Sure. Undisclosed.
Pospisil. Close enough.
I was gonna say something inappropriate, and then take it away. He is on IR, expected to be out until at least November 9th. For Carolina, we have Shane Ghost to be here. Crack myself.
Close enough. That's a hard last name for everyone.
That's how I have always
just, yeah.
pronounced his name because that's how it's spelled.
Yeah.
And it's funny to me.
It makes
so
zero
I can't
sense.
ever hear it a different way. He is out with an abdominal injury, expected to be out until at least November 8th. And Jakob Slavin, or is that one Jacob? I know that
No,
there's
that
a
one is
Jacob with
Jakob.
2 C's. Okay. Or is it a Jacob with a K? I can't remember. Anyway,
Damn
he
Swedes.
is out with a lower, yeah, it depends on where they're from. Sometimes it's like hipster American parents, and then, you
True,
know,
true.
So
they're
true.
from a different country, and it's Jakob. But he is out with a lower body injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 11th. For Chicago, we have Jason Dickinson with a shoulder injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 7th. For Colorado, we have Gavin Brindley with a concussion, expected to be out until at least November 8th. Logan O'Connor with a hip injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 8th. And Samuel Gerard, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 8th. For Columbus, we have Eric Gudbranson with a hip injury, expected to be out until at least November 8th. And Denton Matejchuk, undisclosed, listed as day-to-day. That one was new to me. For Dallas, they're falling apart already. I love to see it.
I knew you
we
would.
have Radek Faxla. That's not at all right, but it's all right. Undisclosed, listed as day-to-day. One that I am sad about because he's a good old Minnesota boy. Jake Ottinger is out with personal reasons, listed as day-to-day. Matt Duchene is out with an upper body injury, expected to be out till at least November 6th. Kyle McDonald, knee injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 30th. And Chase Wheatcroft with a wrist injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 22nd. For Detroit, we have Shai Bunam, undisclosed on IR, expected to be out until at least November 29th. Boo-hoo, poor Patrick Kane is out with an upper body injury, expected to be out until at least November 7th. For Edmonton, we have Matthias Janmark, undisclosed on IR, expected to be out until at least November 10th. Kasperi Kapanen, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 17th. Zach Hyman, low-hanging fruit, with a wrist injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 10th. The other night I made a joke that Dave said was low-hanging fruit, and I said, I'm only 5'1". That's the only stuff I can reach, okay?
Fair.
That's my excuse for getting away with the easy jokes. These make me very sad. For Minnesota, we have Zach Bogosian, a.k.a. Bogo, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 29th. And Matt Zuccarello, my boy, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 7th. For Nashville, we have Adam Wilsby, lower body, listed as day-to-day. Cole Smith, I don't know why I said it that way. Upper body, expected to be out until at least December 15th. I have ties to a Smith family. I know how to pronounce it. All right. My tongue just didn't cooperate. For New Jersey, we have Connor Brown, undisclosed, listed as day-to-day. Yevgeny Dadnadov. I can't do that one.
The Donald.
Hand injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 15th. For the Islanders, we have Simeon Varlamov, knee injury on IR, expected to be out until at least December 28th. That hurts. But I'm not that sad about it because, the Islanders. For the Rangers, we have Vincent Trocheck, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 7th. Urho Vakanainen, lower body, expected to be out until at least November 7th. For Philadelphia, we have Tyson Forrester, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 12th. For Pittsburgh, we have Noel Akari,
Yeah.
Akari?
No, you had it right.
Upper
Akari.
body. Akari? Okay. Upper
Yeah.
body listed as day to day. We have Justin Brazeau, upper body listed as day to day, and Kevin Hayes, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 14th. There's a joke about 3 players being out with upper body injuries. Wonder if it's their dominant hand. Or arm. That's all I'm gonna say. For San Jose, did y'all miss me? I'm
We missed
happy
you so
to be
much.
back.
Yeah.
San Jose, we have Ty Dellandrea, lower body listed as day to day. William Eklund, lower body expected to be out until at least November 7th. Adam Gaudette, upper body on IR expected to be out until at least November 5th. And boo-hoo, guy that can't stand a team, Ryan Reeves, out with a lower body injury on IR expected to be out until at least November 7th.
My heart. I love it.
Here's the song in the world's smallest violin.
I'd take D'Lo back any
Yeah.
day over Reeves, like any day. Yeah, I'm just devastated. That's like what's his face, the big dude that got in all the trouble that he got
Rempe?
in his first year. Yeah.
We got his ass beat by Ryan Reeves earlier this season, so
He did. Yeah, he's on
Got
injured
fucked up.
right now too because of it. Partially.
For Seattle, we have Jared McCann, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 5th. For St. Louis, we have Zach Dean, out for personal reasons on IR, expected to be out until at least January 7th. For Tampa Bay, we have Nick Paul, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 8th. Maxwell Crozer, undisclosed on IR, expected to be out until at least November 6th. For Toronto, we have Steven Lorenz, upper body listed as day to day. Scott Lawton, lower body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 5th. I want to say Lafton, because that's how it's spelled, but I knew that wasn't right. For Vancouver, we have Teddy Bluger, undisclosed on IR, expected to be out until at least November 8th. Excuse me. Connor Garland, undisclosed, listed as day to day. It tasted like pizza, and I didn't eat pizza. That's weird.
Weird.
a lot of information.
Vegas, we have Aiden Hill, lower body, expected to be out until at least November 15th. Colton Sissons, undisclosed, day to day. For Washington, we have Pierre-Luc Dubois, lower body on IR. Ouch. Expected to be out until February 25th.
Damn, that's a nice little chunk of time.
That's
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Rasmus Sandin is also out with an upper body injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 5th. And Ethan Frank, upper body on IR, expected to be out until at least November 6th.
Yeah.
For Winnipeg, we have Dylan Sandberg with a wrist injury on IR, expected to be out until at least November 15th. And lastly, Morgan Barron, undisclosed, expected to be out until at least November 21st. That's what we've got there.
Well, shout out to Danger's new favorite player, Noel Acai Bowl, and his injuries and such.
You said it right though. It is
could not
Akari.
pronounce-
It is Akari, yeah. It's
I
a weird.
cannot
You said it
pronounce
right.
acai correctly for years. Let me
Because
tell you.
it's spelled
years.
crazy.
It's in my brain. It's acai.
Acai, yeah. I figured you'd get a
That's
kick
what
out of
makes
acai
sense.
bowl. That was a fun one.
Acai bowl is great.
Well, you had some sort of stat mall that you wanted to give us?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it could also be a trivia question for a later episode.
Ooh. You know what?
Ooh,
How about
okay.
next week you do the trivia question?
Yeah.
Cool.
Somebody remind me when I make the show sheet and say it's Chris.
Yeah.
And it's actually Maul.
And then I just find another one.
It's something that I heard the other day, and it involves gear.
Okay.
So I'll give you
Okay,
guys
well,
a little
don't
sneak
spoil
peek.
it.
No, I'll
Yeah,
give you a little
don't spoil
sneak
it.
peek. It involves gear.
No.
And when I heard it
that's
the
all
other
I
day, I
need.
was like, huh, no shit. That's interesting. I can't wait to share that.
Also,
All
I did
right.
happen to just see, it came across my desk a moment ago that apparently the fucking Oklahoma State University hockey team won 20-7. That's
yeah. That's a beatdown.
That's an ass whooping.
Does their goalie not know how to goalie?
I don't know if they,
Did they
showed
have a
up.
goalie?
They might have hired.
Yeah.
They might have hired the fucking maintenance crew to play. Brought
I
in.
mean,
Some poor freshman, it's his first day on the team, and they were like, "We've got no goalie. You are now the goalie." And he's like, "But I've always been a center."
Well, guess what, kid? Now you better learn to grow a pair of balls and block the shots, otherwise we're gonna lose the game.
Yeah.
right?
Well, I would say then it is that time for our obscure NHL Player of the Week. You get 3 ducks today.
I gave it an extra duck this week.
Well, we have a player today by the name of Tony Hand. Yes, Hand. Born in August 1967 in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm glad you went with the 1986.
He is the 252nd overall pick in the 1986 draft by the Edmonton Oilers, which not only claims him as Mr. Irrelevant for that season, but he was the first British player to be drafted by an NHL team, which is crazy.
He's also voted to have the best accent in all of the NHL.
Christ,
I mean, I don't have facts to back
Skolkesh.
that up, but
Oh,
I
God.
just awarded that to him.
We haggis and
You know?
all that.
Oh my God, Chris, never do that again.
It was
all of our
supposed to be
Scottish
bad.
listeners just logged off, unsubscribed.
Listen, for all of my Scottish people, I am a fellow redhead. I love you. Please explain plaid.
Plaid?
Yes.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, if Jake were here, tartan. Listen, if we have any Scottish viewers, send me a kilt. I will wear the fuck out of that.
I have a
He's
kilt.
got a cute butt.
I do have a cute butt. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and Maul does in fact have a kilt. But although he was the first British player to be drafted, he never, unfortunately, saw any time in the NHL. The closest he got was the Canadian Hockey League, but he spent most of his time in England, amassing an ungodly amount of points. In 484 British Hockey League games, 921 goals, 1,338 assists, totaling
Holy
for
shit.
2,259 career points, 688 penalty minutes. He has 300 career points in 82 playoff games.
That's
Jesus
wild.
fucking Christ.
I mean, we're looking, he's averaging
the Wayne Gretzky of the fucking British whatever you said.
literally.
Yeah.
Holy shit. He okay, as well as like other leagues, but like let's talk about that for a second. I mean, 500 goals in the English Premier or English what is it? English Premier
English Premier League is something else.
well, it is the English Premier Ice Hockey League. Yes,
There you
yes. But he 273 games in that league, 95 goals, 406 assists. All right, here's some of his accolades. British Ice
Best
Writers.
accent, number one.
Huh?
Oh, no. Best accent, number one.
Yeah. He is British Ice Hockey Writers Association Player of the Year 4 times. Best British Forward 4 times. First Team All-Star 2004-2005. EIHL Second Team All-Star 2005-2006. British Ice Hockey Writers All-Star Team 3 times. He is a member of the Hall of Fame, British Ice Hockey Hall of Fame. Did he ever win a championship?
You're telling me he had 300 goals and never won in any of his championship games? That's crazy.
He is also a Coach of the Year in 2011 or 2010, 2011. He retired from playing in 2014, 2015. This man has represented Great Britain on several occasions. Apparently, it sounds like the best player in the history of British ice hockey.
Correct.
That's
Mr. Hand, I would like to shake
fucking
yours.
wild. Yes, absolutely. That is crazy. Tony Hand, if you would like to come on and talk to us about that, please do, because that is incredible, sir.
Yeah.
Be proud of every second of that, because holy shit.
For real.
Wow. I have no words. But your career is very legendary. The fact that you have 2,200 career points is absurd in a league that unfortunately doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
But it existed from 1982 to 1996. So for a good amount of that time, my friend, holy shit. From 82 to 95. Made that league his bitch.
Right.
But yeah, Tony Hand, you are our player of the week. Now, to round this bad boy out, I will read the trivia question to you guys once more and let you answer it for yourselves. So, in 2008, Chris Chelios won his third Stanley Cup with the Detroit Red Wings, making him the oldest player in the history of the NHL to hoist the Stanley Cup. How old was he?
I'm gonna go.
Are we going closest without going over?
Yeah, it's whoever's
Are we
closest.
prices racing this?
Yeah,
No, it's
it's well, no,
it's
you
the
either you
right
get it
answer
or you don't.
nothing.
This is bullshit.
Yeah. Danger, what you gonna guess?
I was gonna say. Well, I don't know if I want to give you a hint, so I can give my rationale later.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. Torn. I'm gonna go with 48.
Okay. D?
Mal? Oh, me?
Nope. Ladies first.
All right, I'm gonna go 36.
Okay. Small.
In 2008.
2008. Remember, Chris Chelios played for fucking forever.
What's his birthday?
No,
No.
that's
No,
cheating.
You
no,
just
no,
answered
no,
the
no,
question.
no,
Absolutely
no,
not.
no,
Stop, I was
No, no, no.
close.
no,
No.
no, no.
You answer the question. You don't get any fucking
I almost
handouts.
had
No,
him.
no.
I almost had him. I'm gonna say 42.
Okay. So, he retired in his 26th season at the age of 48. 2 years prior, at the age of 46, he became. Danger was so close. She got.
Danger was
It
so
looked
close.
like I was
I
just as soon
was.
as I was like,
And-
"Fuck!" If you had said like 2 years less, you would have had it.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there going, my rationale was, if it was somebody that was 50 or older, we definitely would have all heard about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I thought I remembered Chelios being close to my mom's age.
He was almost 50 when he retired.
Right.
So there's hope for Ovi.
Oh, he's
There
gonna play
is,
until
there
he's
certainly is.
900 because he's never gonna die.
Probably.
I was so close. I'm so
You were
upset.
so close.
You were
Because
so
I was
close.
so torn between like 46 and 48.
Damn, D lowballed the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Other,
that makes sense with.
yeah. Other notable
Yeah.
players in the last 30 years, the last 20 years, to have hoisted the Stanley Cup above the age of 40. Hall of Fame goaltender Dominik Hasek also was on that 2008 Red Wings team and won at the age of 43. Igor Larionov won with the Red Wings in 2002 at the age of 41. All the way back in 1928 with the New York Rangers, Lester Patrick was 44 when he hoisted the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
Chris
Wow.
Chris Chelios is 63 years old and still looks phenomenal. He could probably still go. Knowing
Oh, he's not
Chelly.
my mom's age. He's
it's
a decade
1962.
older. So he's my dad's age. Because
Yeah.
my dad was born in 61. So I had the wrong parent.
His first season
That's
in the
close.
NHL was in 1983-84, all the way up until his retirement in 2009-2010.
Wow.
So Chelly played forever.
He did.
And the years of the lockouts, well, he played other places.
Yeah,
Right.
like most people did.
Obviously, Hall of Famer, 1,600 career games, 948 career points, 2,891 penalty minutes. Fucking Chelios was a savage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured that one was that was a fun one because you wouldn't expect at 46 years old for someone to, get it done like that. That's so unheard of now.
It is. It is.
With that, I think it is the perfect time to end. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Let you know anytime we upload anything new. As you know, on Mondays, you will see us on The Weekend Whistle, as well as our various shorts between YouTube, TikTok, and elsewhere. Let us know in the comments, what players now do you think could possibly continue until they're in their late 40s? 30 years from now, we're still going to be talking about how Ovechkin's like 70 and scoring 30 goals a year.
Yeah, and at like 2,000 goals.
Yeah, just the most unattainable shit ever. Because he's just like, I want to keep playing. I want to keep playing.
It's gonna be a Russian cyborg.
Probably.
With that, thank you guys all for being here, and until next time, we will see you mother puckers in the face-off circle.